if there is any downtime, of if there is any performance aspect, you will have to let the team know. So that was what I was doing for the first job. For the first 2 3 months, I was like, okay, this is easy, I can do it. But as and when time progressed, I knew that this was not what I wanted to do every single day of my life in my career. I wanted to move forward in my career, do something that excites me every single day. And I was into like 1.5 years of IBM. I kind of started to learn about what the industry is actually expecting and what are the non-technical skills that are requiring. That is the major aspect of your every single day. And I started looking for other jobs because I wanted to do something interesting. And so I kind of quit my job. I didn't have a job in hand, so I kind of quit. Um, it is a very risky thing to do, but I did it because I wasn't able to do it anymore. So I kind of quit and I came back to Chennai. I was applying. I used to drive towards OMR, apply in every company and come back. I used to do this for like 2 3 days. And then I got a call from ChargeBee. So you'll have to know that IBM is a 100-year-old company and ChargeBee is only 6 7 years old, 2 years back. So as usual, I got a lot of comments from everyone saying, why are you switching from a company like IBM to a company like ChargeBee, which is just a startup? You may lose your job any day. But I knew that I wanted to take the risk because I wasn't liking it in IBM. So I kind of joined. I went through the interview process. It was very, very different from what I had in IBM. So when it comes to the topic industry expectations, that was when the interview for ChargeBee kind of changed every idea of an interview for me. That was when I understood what exactly is the industry expecting. It is not technical knowledge, because they can teach you that even after you come into the company. They can have a training session, make you go through it every single day. But there are few things that is expected from you apart from technical knowledge. So that was when it kind of changed everything. So to give you like a quick brief, ChargeBee is kind of like a subscription billing platform. You guys know Netflix. So what if you, so Netflix takes out money from our account every month, right? So they don't ask you to pay the money, they just take it accordingly from the card. So what if someone does it for Netflix? What if someone takes the money and gives it to Netflix? That is what ChargeBee does. It's like a subscription billing platform. So yeah, so that is what the company was. I had done a research on the company, but as and when I stepped in is what the CEOs told me very clearly. We don't expect you to know about the product. Just be yourself and attend the interview. We need a person who can give value to the company, and not someone who can just learn the product, by heart the product, and just warm it out. So yeah, that is kind of what set the industry expectations for me personally. So to be very specific, until 2 years back, I didn't know what is industry expectations. So things are changing into the SaaS businesses. Things are changing as startups versus the multinational corporates. But yes, so that was my journey. So in ChargeBee, I started out as a solutions engineer. You just, ChargeBee is a product, so you will have to accommodate the product to the match the merchants needs. When they come into you and they say, hey, this is my business, what can ChargeBee do for me? So that was what I was doing. So it was different every single day. Every single day I would meet like 10 or 11 of our customers, and it is very different every single day. So that kind of like pushed me. And then I got to work with a lot of enterprise accounts. Enterprise is something like L&T General. She's a client of ours. So they are called enterprise accounts, someone who pays in multi-dollars every month. So I got to work with them. And again, the industry expectations changed when that happened. And then I am now the senior solutions engineer. So it's been 2 years of an amazing journey. And the main difference, I would say, between the companies is the approach. Because in a company like IBM, there are a lot of people. So even if you do something out of the blue, it'll take time for you to get recognized. I'm not saying you'll not get recognized, but it'll take a little bit of a time. That is obviously because of the large number of people. But in ChargeBee, when I joined, there were only like 200 people. So it was very, in a team, you will have like maximum 10 people. So it was very easy to get recognized. So that is what you need. That is the motivation you need in the initial stages of your career. So yeah, that happened. And I am planning to like go into product management, and because I know that that is my call. Certainly, you guys will like take time to know about it. It took me like 3 years, 4 years to know about it, but yes, it will take time, and it is a very good approach to have like a plan for 5 to 6 years beforehand. I'm not saying you'll have to plan out everything and make sure that is done. Just have a rough estimate of where you're going, because companies like you to be very planned. They would expect you to have a passion, have an aim for what you are looking to achieve in the 5 6 years. So yes, so that is what is my journey till now. It's been going good. I've been working from home for the past 4 months, and we are planning to work from home till December 2020, and even after that. So there are a lot of opportunities that are coming up because of this corona, and I heard that you guys might have heard Google and Facebook are planning to work from home till December 2021. So now there is no restriction in the location of a company. If any one of your dream companies, Google or Facebook, they are hiring now. They are hiring people even in Chennai. No matter where you are, they are hiring people. So it has opened. People say that the job rate has come down, but it's actually increased because the location is not a barrier anymore. You can apply anywhere. You can get a job anywhere because anyway you're working from home. So yes, that is my journey till now. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So if you guys have any questions, just feel free to stop in because it's internet and you never know when you're thrown out. So yeah. Okay. Let me just proceed. Yeah. So the next so I'm going to split this into easier topics so that it'll be interesting. I don't want to bore you guys. It'll be very specific in terms of what you guys have in mind, because people have different ideas about having a job, so it's kind of different. So I just kind of segregated it into whatever I thought will be in your mind. So the first one is kind of a startup environment, where these are the industry expectations when you are in a startup environment. The first one is change. uh, in a startup, you are just starting out. It's I don't know if you guys can name any startups. So there are Freshworks, now they're called Fresh Desk, Freshworks and Chargebee, Carrot Lane, Big Bazaar. These are all startups. So they are moving into big companies, but these were startups, and these are startups. And there are Recurly, Zuora, all these are startups. So startups is nothing but you just start out in a group of 4 or 5 people, and you guys like proceed branch out to hire new people when you know your product is developing. So when that kind of, in these cases, change is very very necessary. You should be able to adapt to changes. Every single day it will be a different thing. And in the 2 years that I've been working, the company has grown like triple fold. When I stepped in, it was only like 200 people. Now we have like 600, 650 people in like 2 years. So that's how big the company is growing. So they will keep changing every single day. You will have to adapt to changes. You might be hired with the role of, let's say, a marketing analyst, but the next day they'll be coming and they'll ask you to do something else apart from marketing. You will have to be able to put in your effort in that also. That is because the company is starting out and they can't like have separate teams to do it because they don't have the funds, to be very honest. So the things will keep changing every single day, and you will have to adapt to the changes. So that will be, if you think you can't adapt to changes, then it is very difficult, because you can't say, hey, I was hired for this, I cannot do this role. It keeps changing. I have worked in product management. It's kind of a product management where you are supposed to give feedback to the product and make sure they work on it, and you're supposed to handle the customers as well. So there are a lot of roles when it comes to startups. So change is a very an essential thing that they require. You should be able to adapt to the changes. The second thing is all hands on desk. Again, you will be able to you will be required to put in your 100% and make sure that uh, you have your 100%, you have your heart, soul, and mind in it, because that is what startups like expect. Because again, they can't hire every separate team, right? So you will have to put in your 100%. You should be able to like contribute to other teams as well. You cannot only do your job. And the third thing will be mentorship. You should be able to open up to mentors. You should be having a mentor who can help you with the everyday prospect. So certain people are not very comfortable with having a mentors who can like monitor them. Certain people are comfortable working alone, but having a mentor is something that you need to like mandatory. I would say it's very mandatory. It's you, the person need not be like 5 6 years of experience elder than you. They can be even your own age. They can be even younger than you. That doesn't matter. Actually, mentorship is nothing. It's not like someone to monitor you. It's someone to guide you. It's you can just ask them, hey, I've done this, what is wrong in it. You can even have your best friend as your mentor. So you should be able to open up to people, and you should be able to own up to your mistakes if you do any. uh, these qualities are tested in your interview as well. They will be giving you scenarios and they'll ask you, so what will you do in this case? So that is how they'll test you. They'll not directly ask you, do you have this quality, do you have this quality? They'll give you use case, they'll give you situations and test you out, so that you tell them, I will do this in this case, and they'll judge you based on that. So it's a very bad thing to do, but yeah, again. And the fourth one is perks. You have a lot of perks in a startup environment. You shouldn't be able to like focus on only those perks. There are a lot of perks, like you have flexible work timings, but you will have to make sure that you don't take advantage of that. You will have to be true to yourself and true to the company as well. When they're giving you so many perks, you will have to put in your 100% and make sure you give in your all your heart and soul into it, because that is what they expect. When they give so much, obviously they'll expect something in return, right? They're not doing it for free. So, and the fifth one will be risks. Obviously there are risks in everything, but with respect to startups, there are risks of like losing your focus. I wouldn't say it's like a risk, but I would say it's like a test to see how determined you are. If you step into a startup environment with passion, uh, you should make sure that you, I told you about the 5 year plan, right? You should make sure that you're on track for the plan. You can get very easily distracted to another domain, but that is actually a blessing in disguise. If you're not meant to do something that you're doing every day, you can also think about other opportunities. So these are the things with startups. So startups mainly expect these the first main, I would say the 50 to 60% of what the startups expect is change, able to adapt to change, because that they keep changing every single day. And Freshworks was a company that started out as 4 people in an apartment room, in like a bedroom, and it was 4 people. Girish Mathrubootham is the CEO of Freshworks. He was an ex Zoho employee. He quit Zoho, and decided to start a company with his friends of 4 people. And look at the company now; it's like huge. So they are changing every single day. It's just an example. They're changing every single day, and you will need to kind of adapt to the change and make sure that your again your ethics have to be aligned with the changes that are happening. So yeah, that is with respect to startups. An exact opposite is the MNC work life. There are few things that everything has its pros and cons, but with respect to MNC, the work life balance is amazing. Now, in startups, I kind of work like 11 hours a day. Nowadays, they pay you for 9 hours, yes, but you will have to kind of, the line between work and your personal life is very grim. But in the case of an MNC, you can clock in and you can clock out the particular time. If you're working for 8 hours, 9 hours, you work only for that time. But in startups, there is no entry in or entry out. You got to finish your work. No matter if you take 14 hours, that's your problem. If you take 8 hours, that's your problem. So again, your work ethic is very very important. And you will have to like understand that it is your work. At the end of the day, you will have to finish it. There's no one else who's going to finish it for you. And your main industry expectation as of today is no matter what time you work, you'll have to finish your work at the end of the day. That is all. That is the main expectation. You cannot postpone stuff tomorrow, and you'll have to make sure that you finish your work. So in MNC, that kind of line is very strict. You can just work and you can just leave uh, the particular 9 or 8 hours. And the compensation over passion is something that I found very relevant to this, because the compensation is very very structured in an MNC. It doesn't keep changing according to the company's growth. Again, if you're very passionate about something, if you're very passionate about getting into a job, but you don't care about the money, then you can just go forward. But MNC, if you're a person who worries about having the right compensation, then MNC is for you. The third thing is the decision is already made. As in, like in startups, you will be expected to take decisions. So decision making is something that is very very required. If you can't take decisions, like for example, if you're someone who can't decide on something, it's very hard for you. You will have to make sure that you know what you want, and the decision making is something that is very very important in every company. But in an MNC, decision making, I wouldn't say like they'll tell you what to do, but most of the decision will be already made. So there's nothing that you're required to put in. There's no creativity, or you don't put in what you feel. You cannot change anything. So again, these are two aspects. I'm not saying all the MNCs are like this, but this is the majority of the MNCs I've seen or my friends have told me. So next thing is marketing and branding. Already the company has a brand. I don't know how many of you have heard about ChargeBee before you heard it from me. uh, but IBM, I know most of you would have heard about it. So the kind of marketing, if you prefer a well-reputed company, then again, MNCs are for you. But what does the industry expect? Industry always expects what you think about the company. Have you made enough research about the company? Are you just joining the company just for the namesake? Are you just joining the company just because it's a big company? Are you willing to put in your effort? Are you willing to market the company? That's what I would prefer. That's like a term which means that you are willing to make sure the company's brand grows. That's what again is called as branding. So again, every aspect of these is linked to a question in an interview. You might think this is just the difference between startups and MNCs. It might seem like that, but again, all these qualities is something that you need to manifest, and you need to think about it before stepping into an interview, because they will be judging you based on these qualities. And everyday role in the company progress. So what is your role? How do you think that you can add value to the company? What can you do to make the company grow every single day? Are you going to benefit it directly? You're working one day and you think, I think this can make the company go a step forward. You can just walk up to the CEO and you can tell them, hey, this is what I think, what do you feel? That is again some decision making capabilities that they'll require. You cannot just walk into the company, sit for 8 hours, have a lunch break, and just leave. You are expected to be a valid part in the company's progress every single day. um, I would say like these qualities are something that doesn't come overnight, obviously, but you guys are just starting out. You guys still have 2 more years to finish college, 2 3 year most to finish college. So it'll take time, but just make sure you incorporate these in your everyday life. It doesn't come overnight. You will have to make sure that you work on this every day, at least just a minute part of the day. Just make sure you incorporate these qualities.
It's 11 o'clock.
And the next thing is a main slide I wanted to talk about. It's the industry expectations. Now, most of these topics would have been already covered in my previous slides, but I want to just go in detail. And
Shweta, 1 second, Shweta.
sure.
Are you presenting any presentation, no?
Yes, ma'am. Can you see it?
No, actually, we are able to see only the main screen of Google Meet. What you can do is you can just click on the presentation now.
Now, 1 second. I'll just stop sharing and present again.
Yeah, you can give present now and you can share your whole screen now.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, fine.
Can you see the slide now?
Yeah, this is the first slide we are seeing. We were not able to see your previous slide.
Okay, it was nothing. Just I was just talking about these two.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay. This is the main slide, so it's fine. Is this visible?
Yeah, it's visible. You can proceed.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Did you guys tell me? I did like I'm on another tab, so I didn't see your chat. So sorry. Yeah. So this will be my main slide because industry expectations is something that all of us will have in mind. As Akash told me, you guys need to know what exactly is required from your employer and when you go for an interview. So the again, the first thing I would like to start in reverse because learning is something that is the primary thing. When you step into a company, they will require you to learn and they will expect you to learn every single thing. Are you willing to learn? Are you someone who is okay with learning? And now most of the companies, they give you opportunities to take up courses and they'll pay for it. This is happening in like 90% of the companies today. They are giving you chances to go over certifications. They will give you an allowance every month and they will make sure that you complete the certification. So it's totally up to you. It's not a compulsion that you'll have to complete these many certifications. But again, how many of you do it is actually what they will guess. Uh, it's again up to you, but it's good. Most of them complete it just for the sake of it. But again, how many of you do it and how many of you implement it in the everyday work is something that they will judge you. So learning again is a key parameter to what exactly is required from you. Are you willing to learn every day? Are you willing to incorporate that whatever you have learned, are you willing to put it into the everyday life, everyday work that you have? And are you willing to like share it with others? Learning is one thing and teaching others is another thing. So are you willing to like help others with their aspect of learning? So that is something that is required from you. And the second thing I would talk about is accomplishments. Are you willing to talk about your accomplishments? People might feel that it is something that you're overconfident about. It's definitely not. So when you go to an interview, they'll ask you what is your strength, and you can't say no, I'm very humble, I don't have any strength. You can't say that. You will have to tell them, unless and until if you don't know yourself, they'll not be able to guess it. So you will have to tell them, yeah, I can do this good, I can do this well. All of us have strengths. It will be very very different from one person to another, but you should be able to talk about your accomplishments confidently. Today, just after the session, just sit and just think for a minute, what is your accomplishment till now? Everyone has one. There's no one without accomplishments. Just think what you can say out loud, what you are very confident about. um, that is something that every company is requesting. So sometimes these sessions happens in companies where they ask you to come forward and talk about the accomplishments. They'll ask you, what did you do yesterday? What is one good thing that you did yesterday? Can you Few people struggle to even like think about it. What, I didn't do anything yesterday, I was just watching TV. No, you will have to think about your accomplishments, and more than thinking about it, you should be able to put it forth confidently, because companies will judge you. Again, I'm saying the same sentence again, but yes, companies will judge you based on your confidence. It's not, there's a very fine line between confidence and overconfidence, but you need to talk about your accomplishments. And it'll be good if three or four of you can tell me your accomplishments at the end of the session. It's just a very quick thing. It doesn't matter if it's very silly. It might not sound good to the person who's sitting in front of you. That doesn't matter, because it is your accomplishment and you should be confident about it. So you should be able to talk about your accomplishments in a very honest and a strong manner. You should be able to like tell them, this is what I did and I felt that was an accomplishment. Your individuality is something that is expected. And relationships, this was one main point that I wanted to talk to you guys about. It is uh, building relationships. You will have to go and talk to people yourself. It might be, I am an introvert. I would say I'm an ambivert right now. But when I started out, it was very hard for me to go and talk to people myself. It is very difficult for me to go and say, hey, I'm Shweta, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's very very hard, I agree, but you will have to build relationships to like sustain in the company. It's not about making friends, it's about building relationships. Even if it's with your CEO. And so my company has this concept of uh, putting up two random people from every team. So a company is like 650 right now. So it'll randomly pull slots, and one person. You will have to go on a tea break, talk about it for 15, talk about anything for 15 minutes. So that happens every single week. And this is just one way that companies came up. So there's something called Donut. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about it. It's a tool where it'll just help you meet people randomly. You can just put in your name and another name will pop up, and you'll have to go and talk to them about your professional life, and what you're expecting out of your life, professional everyday work. So you will have to build relationships. You can't be someone who doesn't talk to anyone. You can't be very reserved, and you will have to start talking to people. So the next thing is volunteering. If someone asks you to do something, like we do in college, right? We don't even speak up, but in office, you will have to like step up and offer your role, because when they ask you, they'll see how well you're willing to volunteer. Only then you will get the bigger opportunities. So that is when they give you like small tasks, you should be able to put up your hand and say, "Hey, can I do it?" It's okay if you do not know anything about it, but the step to at least volunteer is what kind of takes everything, because only then they will consider you for bigger opportunities. If you're someone who's like very passionate about your career, but someone who's very reserved and who doesn't like to talk in front of people, it is very hard. It's high time we change it. It's very, I know it's very hard to like talk in front of like 30-50 people, but just start with a mild crowd. Just go forward, because volunteering is a major part of the everyday work life. Doesn't matter if it's an MNC or a startup. It kind of encompasses around, I would say, like 20-30% of your everyday work is nothing about meetings and volunteer to doing meetings, presentations and stuff. So yeah, I would say volunteering is like one major part. I would suggest you guys to like try it out. Maybe you guys can have like group discussions. I know you guys will have it during the placements, but it's very good to like assign a leader. You guys can step in, volunteer, talk about random subjects. You guys can choose the topics. That is something that can be done every single day. In our office, it was very difficult when we initially started. So then they brought in few group exercises, and now this is my first time I'm talking to so many of you, but I think that kind of helped me to kind of talk in front of people. So again, volunteer. You will learn a lot of stuff when you volunteer. You guys can go wrong. You guys can like stumble, do a lot of mistakes, but it's totally fine. No one is going to judge you. You guys can volunteer, and the final thing will be dream. And dream is something, again, the industry wants to know. When they hire you, they will ask you, what is your plan in 5 years? What are you actually looking to do? If you say, nah, I don't know, I'm just thinking, it's kind of something that is off, because everyone wants a passionate person working in their company, because um, it helps them build the company, because at the end of the day, they're going to think what you're bringing to the company while they interview. So they're going to think about that. So you guys have to start charting out. Most of you would have had a grave idea by now, but it's okay to kind of dream. Just chart it out. Just have like a plan, 5-year plan. What are you guys planning to do in 5 years? What is your expectations? Your reality will be much, much different than expectations. But at the end of the day, do you have a plan? Because companies think that if you have a plan, you will, no matter what, you will work hard to like achieve that particular objective. So that is what they're expecting. And the last thing is non-technical skills, for which I like have a separate slide. Can you see the slide, ma'am?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, so non-technical skills, this is just what I could find as the most important part out of my experience, but it might differ from person to person. I would want you guys to like look at these and think, how many of these skills do you guys have? Like, I just want to look at it and think, how many of these do I have? What all I need to work on? Because non-tech, again, the same thing, non-technical skills is the major part of the company, because they are willing to put in money to give you technical knowledge, because all of us have courses now online, Udemy. There are a lot of Coursera. There are a lot of stuffs online where you can just go through the course and like finish the certification. But these kind of skills are something that you need to work on every single day. It doesn't come like just like that. Courses you can do it in a day or in even in 2 3 hours, but these kind of skills is something that you need to work on. And it's like a right time for you guys to work on, because it takes a lot of time to build these skills. And I'm sure that these will, you can start with your friends. Don't have any high hopes. You can just start with your friends, do something, try to have a group discussion, step up, volunteer. It's just a small step. I would start with management skills. How good are you with managing yourself? You're not managing the company as a whole, but how good are you managing yourself? The company will, it looks like you're not even seeing the CEO, but he will be keeping track of your performance, and he will be keeping track of your achievements every single day. I didn't realize that till I would say like 2 years ago. I thought they would not even see us why we working so hard. But if we do something very, very good, you will receive an email from the CEO. That is how it has been. That is when I understood that, okay, they're keeping track of everything in the company. And management skills. How good are you with managing yourself? Are you completing your work on time? Do you need someone to manage you? And are you like able to finish your work? Are you able to maintain your work with dignity? That is what they will see about. Are you good with managing people? That is the second role, I would say. Are you good with being a team leader? Are you good with a team player? No matter if you're the team leader or anything, if you are in a team of 4 to 5 people, are you able to like manage the team as a whole? Are you able to give inputs to the team and take inputs from the team without offending them? Are you able to have a healthy debate? All these comes under management skills. You cannot just sit in one place, do your work and leave. It's all about being a good manager. It's not the post. It's about managing yourself and managing your team members or your colleagues for that matter. They need not come and give you a post, hey, go and manage 3 to 4 people. They will not do that. They'll see if you're taking up, again, this goes back to volunteering. They'll see if you can like step in and take care of 3 to 4 people. Even if something like a small outing in your office, are you willing to take up the responsibility of finding a place, finding the caterer, and all those things? That all comes under management skills. And accountability. Are you willing to be are you willing to take ownership of your mistakes? When you do a mistake, are you willing to say, okay, that was wrong, I'll correct it right now? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to even if it's a good thing, even if it's something that ends up very good, are you willing to take up credits? Or are you just going to sit in the back burner and let others take the credit? That's not going to happen. You will have to step in and say, I did that, that was my mistake, I'm going to take accountability. You will be held responsible. Nobody should come up to you and say, hey, you were the one who did it, you're wrong. You should go to them and say, I'm accountable, I will take responsibility. So how good you are with taking accountable, being accountable for things that you do, even if it's good or bad, doesn't matter. You will have to be accountable enough, and you will have to make sure that you give in your 100%. And even if it's something in, especially in startups, things will go wrong crazily. It can go wrong like 180-degree wrong. But even then, you can own up and say, hey, that was a mistake, I'll correct it right now. So that is accountability. That is something that every one of us needs to work on. None of us, all of us have this ego that we don't accept the mistakes, but we'll have to work on it. We'll get there, yeah. And then third and fourth thing is something that all of us might have heard like so many times: critical thinking and problem solving. It's so huge that I think even CAT exams have like a separate section on this. I'm not sure, yeah. So critical thinking and problem solving, I would say critical thinking is nothing but in case of extreme situations, in cases of a problem, what is your instant thinking? Are you willing to think about it? If yes, are you willing to consider all the factors that goes into the decision? It takes a lot of time to be a good critical thinker, but it takes time. You will have to build on it. You will have to work on it every single day. It doesn't matter even if it's a small thing, but you will have to make sure that you put in your 100% and think about all the factors that will affect the consequence of the decision. So that is critical thinking. Critical thinking and problem solving go hand in hand. So what is your solution for it? Is the solution does not solve the problem entirely, but does it solve at least a percentage of the problem? Even if you do not have a solution, are you willing to like at least think about it? Is Yes, I would say is one major factor in any skill set that is happening. It's not only about any major problems, even if it's something that is not relevant to you. Again, you should be able to volunteer and you should be able to give them your suggestion. And the next thing is team player. All of us have a very clear idea what team player is. I'm not going to go over it again, but being a good team player is something that kind of changed my aspect towards being a team player. I used to say I'm a team player, but once I stepped into the company, I knew that was not what I was expecting. You will have a lot of difference of opinions. People will tell you, even your own friends will tell you that you're wrong. But how well are you going to build on it? Are you guys willing to listen to others? Um, are you guys willing to give them your idea of what you should be able to explain yourself. If you have a problem, which is the fourth point, if you have a solution, are you willing to explain what exactly the solution will encompass the problem? Will it help the problem? uh, you should be able to listen. Listening is one key skill in being a team player. You should be able to listen to people, and you should be able to also present your points beautifully, not to offend anyone. You should be able to present your points beautifully. And the next main thing is that I'll just complete setting expectations and I'll go back to transition period, because that is one major thing. Setting expectations is nothing but it comes under having a plan. When you step into the company, they'll expect you to know your plan. And when you tell them, hey, this is what I'm expecting out of the company, this is what I'll be able to offer, you will have to set expectations to the employer. And if you're able to like go beyond expectations, amazing. But you will have to reach the expectations that you mentioned during the interview. You can't say all stuff during the interview just to get a job, and after you get the job, you will have to meet the expectations. You can't go even like a step below the expectations, because um, a lot of people now are like fighting so hard for the job, so it's very easily you can be replaced, right? I'm just being very brutally honest here, because this corona, we have seen so much. We've seen a lot of people lose their jobs, and this is going to change the job industry for, I would say, like next 5-6 years. It's going to change it like rapidly. And so it's very expected that you like reach the expectations that you set to the employer before you joined the company. So it kind of takes a lot of effort. You will be struggling so much to reach expectations. They might even increase the expectations a bit to the top notch, but again, you will have to put in your 120% to reach their expectations, because that is when they will decide, okay, this person is very passionate about work and he's able to reach this expectation, which means he is capable of something. And they will be even giving you a huge major responsibility. But the whole thing comes down to they will be watching you. You got to make sure that just don't act like you're doing it. Be yourself and just be honest about this. And the transition period is something, transition period is nothing but the initial stages of when you join a job and when you like switch over to the main part of the job. It's nothing but, to be very simple, the time between the training period and when you actually go in on the job hand training. um, so the transition period is when the company will exactly know what you can bring to the company as a whole, because you will have to like go through everything during the training period. The training period will be super excited and you do everything, but once you step into the company is actually when they'll start judging you, and when they'll start assessing you. I'll say judging, yeah, they'll start assessing you. So you will have to make sure that that transition period is smooth. It'll be so hard for you guys like to move from that. I struggled so hard to move from the job, because during the training period I had a mentor. I had someone to like hold my hand and guide me over. But on the job, I was just put into the job and I was like, go do your thing. So it's going to be very, very overwhelming. It is going to be very hard for you like to randomly start the job. But how exactly can you incorporate all the skills I said before actually onto the job? The transition period is very, very important, because that is when you will realize that is when reality hits you. That is when you will realize, okay, what am I doing right now? Am I supposed to like do this? You will have a lot of questions, a lot of confusion, you will make a lot of mistakes, but it's totally fine. Again, are you taking accountability for it? Are you willing to own up and say, I did a mistake, yes, I can rectify it? It'll take a lot of time, it will take time, it'll take patience, but you will be able to proceed. And the transition, I hope you guys don't panic over the transition period, because I panicked a lot. And it was way worse when I started panicking. So you just mess up everything. So just be yourself. Make sure you guys have a smooth transition period. During the training period, make sure training period is like a practice period where you can like incorporate all these talents and see if they're working, if they're being recognized. And yes, so the transition period is something that you guys need to work on every single day. You will have to make sure that you try practicing all those skill sets that I mentioned earlier. And every company is different. A few companies give priority to being a team player rather than being a management skills. So it kind of differs. So you will have to like work on your skills, work on the during the transition period. Make sure you talk to a lot of people, you know what the company is doing. You will have to walk up to people and talk about. That brings me to the next main thing, networking. I'm not sure how many of you guys you can see the slide, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So networking is one major thing that you guys need to work on, because all these skills is one thing. Network is one huge aspect of this skill, because even if you do not have the skill, all of us do not have all these skills. Trust me, I don't have a few of these skills, but networking can help you build those skills. Um, I will share you my LinkedIn profile at the end of the session. You guys can reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help. Uh, that is one form of networking. Reaching out, having connections on social media. Nowadays, all of social media is not about entertainment. We are doing a lot of things. Doing a lot of good things, rather than how social media was previously. That was just about friendships and building relationships. But nowadays, social media is nothing. It's not only about entertainment. It is also for a lot of professional networking. Um, you will have to reach out to people. So I just had this interesting session like before the corona lockdown started. So this lady from New Jersey, she came to our office and she was talking about how bad human beings, especially, we are at networking. We all have this apprehension about going and talking to someone who's so random. uh, we might have like lost about 40 to 50% of job opportunities just because we are stuck in our own personal space. We don't go out and talk to people. uh, that is what I told you about the Donut, the app that will help you connect to people randomly. So that is one part of networking. Networking is like a huge aspect of getting to know people. It's a huge aspect of industry standards right now. All of you must have heard companies having parties every year. It's not only about celebrating the company, trust me. It's about building relationships. They'll in the meeting, it's not about every team, it's about the entire company. They will randomly pull two people and ask them to talk for 10 minutes on stage. This happens in like almost every company I've spoken about. um, so it's a huge thing of networking. You will have to reach out to people. It'll take a lot of time to do that. If some of you are extroverts, good, you guys are like well set. But for introverts and ambiverts, it's like a huge thing, but it'll take time. You'll have to like step up your game. You'll have to reach out to people, but not be creepy and not be all stalkerish. You'll have to be very professional. And you can just reach out to people on LinkedIn, and ask them, hey, where are you working, what is your company expecting, and what are your standards, what do you guys expect out of every people you hire. Things like that need to be addressed. And you will, many of them are not going to reply. I'm being very honest, many of them are not going to reply, but it's totally fine. If you ping like 10 people, two or three of them are going to respond. In that, one of them are going to be very honest. So it'll take time for us to like reach out to people, but we'll get there. The second thing is what mentors. Again, as I spoke about mentorship before, it's very good to have a mentor in. For example, let's say you got an offer. You do not know what is the company expecting of you. You have all these skills, but you're still deciding what exactly is the skill that is required from this particular company. You can, if you know anyone, if you know your senior or even your colleagues, family, someone, you can reach out to them and ask them, talk to them, hey, can you be my mentor? Doesn't matter even if they're younger than you, but the person who knows about the company it can be a very good mentor. You can just reach out to them, ask them what the industry expects from you, what exactly are you looking, what exactly should you be working on, do you need anything specific in order to like get a job at the company. All these can be like a pre-interview strategy. uh, you can just reach out to them, talk to them, know what exactly is happening at the company, what kind of a company it is. So researching on the company, you can Google it, but on Google it'll be like a totally different thing. But when you talk to someone who's already working in the company is when you will get the real idea of the company. Both of them can be polar opposites, the thing that is available on Google and when you talk to a person. So networking, and also when you step into the, let's say you got the job in the company, that person can be a very good mentor for you. That person can even talk to the higher authorities about you being a very good networking individual. You can even be given good opportunities to like travel, for the company when you go out, represent the company, because they're not going to send someone who doesn't talk to anybody, who just comes, works 9 hours and leaves, doesn't talk to anybody. They're going to search for someone who's good at networking, who can like spread the company's name, who can market the company, who can brand, talk about the company's branding. So you will have to work on your networking capabilities, and again, you will have to introduce yourself to go. Our first day at the job was to go and introduce yourself around the company. So it'll be super weird. People will be walking, you just walk up to them and like, hey, I just joined. Hi, I just wanted to like come and say hi. There have been a lot of people who have done that, and like when I was a senior in the company around say 1.5 years in ChargeBee, people would walk up to me and say, hey, I just joined. I just wanted to come and say hi, and it actually felt good. But when I was doing that, it was very weird. But when someone came and spoke to me, it actually felt okay. Now it makes sense why we do that, because you need to know each and every one in the company. Just go and introduce yourself. Just go and tell them where you're from. Ask them about them. Don't keep talking about only yourself, and just note that all these is a part. It might seem like it's not part of your job. Why are we even doing this? I'm getting paid for the job I do. But no, the networking is like the major part of your everyday job. You'll have to go talk to people. You have to be very honest about yourself. You can't just go brag about yourself. You'll have to be very honest. Have a smile at people. You know you And one more thing is, you can't call people sir or ma'am, madam, akka, anna. You can't call all that. You will have to call them by their name. That is to again ease networking. It's just to make sure that all of us are friends here, all of us are adults here. None of them are above anyone. I used to call my manager sir in IBM, because he was much older. He had like 30 years of experience. But when I came here, I was kind of hesitant to call everyone by their name. I call my manager by his name. So it kind of changes. That is just, and also to be very honest, I'm very closer to my manager now than I was in IBM. So that is when I realized you'll have to start calling names. Only then it's all just tips and tricks to like ease networking, and just give them a smile. You will have to be very warm to approach. You can't be like a person who's not talking to anyone. You'll have to be very warm, and just all these are like very intricate nuances to talk about. It'll seem very silly, but it'll like add up to the entire concept of being an approachable person in office. So people need to come and approach you, and like sometimes even in IBM, I would say any company for that matter, the CEO will walk up to you and say, hey, how's your day going? You can't like sit and freak out, and it's like, you'll have to be very casual. Hey, did you have lunch? Yes, I had lunch. It has to be very casual, and just make sure that you're very warm and approachable, and not very someone who acts like it's not school or college. It's entirely different. I wish I had known that before, but I kind of I'm getting to the getting the hang of it right now. So you'll have to be very warm, approachable, be yourself, and listen. That is one major thing. Just don't talk about yourself. When someone is telling you something, make sure you listen. Make sure uh, you understand what they're talking about. And even when you work in teams, even when you manage teams, even when you become a team leader, you will have to make sure that you listen to people, even if they are like they do not have an experience. If let's say you are of 3-4 years of experience in the company, and a fresher steps in and gives you an idea, don't hesitate to take that idea. It might be like completely wrong, but just tell them, hey, your idea is very good, but you know what, this is how this won't work in this case, but it's actually a very good idea. Just listen to that particular person. Just make sure that everything um, go smooth. If you can see that it'll be going in loops, one thing will be related to the another, management skills, so it is all related. So just make sure you work on every single thing, because all companies right now are going through a bad phase because of this lockdown. So this is when you kind of start talking to people, build relationships. Just make sure that you know that you're there for them. So our company, this is a very totally irrelevant thing, but I think this actually makes sense here. Our company, where we were planned to give out appraisal cycles in March, but that didn't happen because we didn't have funds, because all of the customers were kind of pausing their businesses with us because they didn't have money to pay us. So we none of us got our appraisals, and the CEO personally sent out a mail to each and every one of them saying, "I'm very sorry about this, but we will be making sure that we will do this in the future. Once the lockdown is over, we'll give you the appraisal." But it was very, very shocking for me personally to see people saying, "Hey, it's totally fine. Just take your time, relax. We're all here with you." To be honest, that was very shocking to me because I didn't expect so much of friendliness between the CEO and the employees. Each and every one of the employees sent out messages saying, "Hey, it's totally fine. We get you." And trust me, last month we got our appraisals. It was supposed to go out only in December, but it came out last month. I'm not saying this just for the appraisal cycle. I'm just saying it's all a give and take policy. When you have a very good relationship with your peer or with your senior, it is very, very easy to like scale up in your career or even get opportunities. Nowadays everyone is working, and it's very easy to like be stuck in a particular post, but networking, building relationships, talking to people, having a mentor and all, just it just gives you a boost. It just scales you up to another level. So yeah, that's it with respect to networking. And this is a very easy thing. You can leverage upon social networks. So all of us might have a LinkedIn profile. If not, just create one. There are a lot of other tools apart from LinkedIn, actually. Meetup, Zing, opportunities. There are a lot of other tools. I'm not sure. I have not heard of a few tools, to be honest. But even if you have only LinkedIn profile, it's totally fine. Just reach out to people, talk to them. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to any other senior of yours. I think you guys might have had sessions before. Reach out to those seniors. I'll give you my LinkedIn profile at the end of the session. Just make sure that you guys start, at least put in a little step that will help you. Trust me, that will help you so much in your career. So these are like few social networks that you can use, and do a lot of courses, do a lot of blogs, read a lot of blogs. If you are someone who's interested in writing blogs, very good, because blogs can kind of help you change your entire approach towards an industry. Just randomly, if you're just sitting, read out blogs. If you love reading, start reading blogs. If you have additional courses, the courses that I was the Google courses that I did, I just did it like a month back when I was sitting. I was just working and I was like super tired, and I just thought, okay, let me do a course. It'd be interesting. I had no idea about marketing before the course, and I just thought I should learn something extra apart from what I'm doing now. So I just thought I'll do the Google courses are free. You guys can do it. It's only like I think it'll like take a day or two to do it. Just go ahead, do courses, and certifications are like an extra step towards what, because everyone has a BTech degree now, everyone has a degree, MBA has also become very common. But what exactly, apart from the course or apart from your degree, what do you have extra? Can you like so there are a few people in my company who doesn't have a degree. They did not complete their college education, but they're an amazing leader. They are an amazing person who can network very good, and they are the product managers in our company. I was very shocked to hear that. But actually, that kind of gave me an idea that having a degree is not everything. You will have to like be an amazing person to reach out to, have amazing idea. You will have to have the particular skill set to lead a team. So just make sure that you guys do everything apart from the core. That is what expected out of every company. So you might think that I have a degree, I have completed these courses. No, you will have to have all the other skills that I mentioned. So yes, and these are the few tips that I thought should have. Resume, your resume should be on point, and please don't lie in your resume, because they are going to be expecting that. You might get into a job, but after that they'll know that it was not what you are exactly. Just make sure that you, even if it's one thing, just put it honestly, whatever you are, just put it in. Because the company expects honesty. That is what the company expects. Every company expects right now. They need you to be honest. They need you to be warm and approachable. And it's better to have recommendations, I would say. Referrals, to be easier, yes. So you can just have referrals inside the company. Now every company has something called a referral bonus. For example, if I refer someone to the company and that person gets hired, I get a bonus. So nobody is going to think twice before referring you. You'll have to make sure that you get into the job. That's up to you. But there are a lot of referrals. That again goes back to networking. So I'm not going to go in circles, but you'll have to understand that all these are like interlinked to each other. You'll have to just work on these skills. You'll have to keep an open mind. Don't be very closed and say, I've done this, I've done that. Be open to learning. Be open to learning new things. Be open to learning new things from new people, for that matter. When you talk to 2 3 people, you will learn a lot more than when you are alone and you sit in front of your laptop. Everything is available online now, but it still makes a lot of difference to go out and talk to people. So, and the pre-interview strategy is nothing but whatever I mentioned before. It's very easy to like have a calm mind and go and be honest, talk like you're talking to someone you know. Be very have a smile, be very approachable, and reach out to your alumni. As ma'am mentioned before, alumni, they can give you like an idea of what exactly the company is. It's much different than when you see from outside, but when you start working in it and when you get the hang of it after 2 3 years, they will be able to give a better idea. And Glassdoor has so many reviews, but don't trust Glassdoor with the reviews. There have been I have trusted Glassdoor with the reviews, and it has turned out to be exact opposite. So reach out to your alumni, make sure that they are helping you out, help them with it, give in your 100%, and everything will be like super fun. And again, all these things do not come overnight. Every day make sure that you do something. Have a book, note down whatever you have done till now. It might seem like it's a very silly thing, but over the day you will understand. It's just like reading a book. You can't like read a single book if you're a person who doesn't read books and you want to start. You just start page by page, right? You don't read an entire book in one day. So similarly, you'll have to start out with simple practices. Just reach out to one person today, talk to them, know what their job is about. Start conducting in your friend circle, start having healthy discussions, and that kind of adds up, because you guys have like 2 more years to like complete. And I'm sure the college might have been organizing something for you, but other than that, try to do it yourself. And if you're someone who is very scared to like talk in front of people, do it in front of a mirror. Trust me, do it in front of a mirror. You'll be much more comfortable, and it'll take time to get hold of all these skills, but you'll surely get there. um, so that's it from my end. I just hope it was interesting, because I just try to like put in my experience as a part of the learnings I've had over the past 4 years. So yes, I think I was able to like keep you guys excited and interesting. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to let me know.
Shweta,
Yeah, ma'am.
Ms. Chitra, excellent presentation. I am really happy.
Thank you
Such
so
a
much,
wonderful
ma'am.
presentation. It is like reading one Robin Sharma book.
Thank you so much.
Full of motivation, positive, and what is really happening in industry you have highlighted to the core. And
Thank you.
people like, yeah, excellent presentation.
I just
Very
wanted
good.
to make it very relevant so that it's very easy to get distracted during an online presentation, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to I'm not a person who can give out experience because I've just had 4 years of experience, but it has taught me a few things, and I just thought I'll just share it with everyone here. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Excellent. Guys, you can ask, can pose questions, or you can directly interact. Unmute your audio and talk. Akash?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Akash.
Hi, ma'am.
You can call me
As per my
Shweta,
question.
Akash. Don't call me ma'am.
Okay, Akka.
Akka lala, Shweta. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. As per I asked you a question that what the industry what they expect, you had really given a good boost for us.
Thank you.
Really, it was like adding a boost for us and to be get into a reputed companies like that.
Good. And I would say one more thing. It's not about getting into the company as such, but sustaining through the company. So getting into the company it's become very I would say easy, but it's much more easier now compared to when it was before. But you will have to make sure that you'll have to incorporate all these skills to like kind of stay in the particular good role, I would say. So yeah.
Yeah, after your session, it's like a simple thing.
Sorry.
After your session, it's a simple thing for us. We could do it.
Thank you so much. Happy to help.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other queries, please? See, actually, Shweta, we had one question in chat box that you might have answered already, I think so.
Okay, learning
Your
skill will be
experience.
different from college life and industry life. How you change your life to step in after a company, after
So
company.
that you would have already answered, I think,
I
because you
think
have
I
shared
answered.
all your experiences.
Yes.
Any other questions, students?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Adarsh. Tell me.
So which one do you think will be more better for learning? A startup company or already a standardized company?
I expected this question already. So, to be very honest, startup companies are best for learning because it's very easy to like learn from your mistakes in startups because your mistakes there'll be a lot of even the CEO makes the mistakes in startups because he's also new to this, right? So if you're someone who's interested in learning and who's interested in exploring new things every single day, I would say startups.
Okay.
And I got a lot of questions when I like switched from IBM to ChargeBee. As usual, my relatives asked me like, why are you switching from an 100-year-old company to a company I've not even heard about? So I got those questions. I took a risk. I didn't even have a job when I quit IBM, but now I would like very proudly say that it was worth the risk. So if you're someone who loves exploring stuff, who loves learning new stuff every single day, I would say startups any day.
What did you find more interesting in ChargeBee than IBM?
I can walk up to the CEO any minute and tell him, you can Google ChargeBee, you can just go through the employees in ChargeBee. The CEO's name is Krish. So they are a group of 4 friends, and that kind of friendship that the CEOs have is kind of over the company as a whole. They'll make sure that you guys are friends more than colleagues, and we have something. We do not have like a hierarchy chart. We do not have this person is reporting this person. We don't have that in ChargeBee. All of us, I can even walk up to the CEO anytime and say, hey, Krish, I think you did this in a wrong way. And I think this can be a better solution to that. And he'll happily take it. So that is something that I found it was very, very shocking at first, but I found that was much, much better. I didn't meet my CEO or even my manager. It was very rare in IBM, but in ChargeP, it's that.
Actually, you would have known this thing after joining ChargeP, right?
Sorry?
You would have known that everyone are
Yes.
being friendly. Yeah.
Yes,
After joining ChargeP, right?
exactly.
So before joining ChargeP, you would not have any ideas about this, right?
No. So before joining ChargePay, I just, as usual, I read through the reviews and I reached out to someone who was already, I just reached out to her over LinkedIn. I asked her how it is over there, and she was like, these are the things that are happening. We do not have any strict policy. It'll be very much fun. We'll have parties. She was just mentioning all that. But before getting in, I just knew one thing, that the CEO is very approachable, because that was one comment I read through the entire Google, and I just got one review about the CEO, particularly Krish. So that was one thing I knew before joining ChargePay. So I was very shocked that I had easy access to the CEO. But after joining ChargePay, I knew that there was no hierarchy. Their hierarchy was there, but it is not exposed to people, so that you feel a bit intimidated to go talk to the particular person. So yeah, that was something I knew before and after going to ChargePay.
So whatever you read from the reviews, with that you joined ChargePay, right?
No, it's not exactly that. Again, I told you I reached out to someone in the company, right? So that is one. So I read a lot of reviews in Glassdoor, to be honest. I read, because everyone of us will be scared to join a new company, but that was kind of like only, like, I would say 30% of what my ideas were. When I reached out to that is the main reason of me adding a whole slide for networking, because that kind of changed the narrative for me. When I reached out to that person, she was already working in ChargePay for like 2-3 years, and that also made me like have a friend before I even joined. I got very close to her. I spoke to her like a lot of times. She used to tell me, hey, this is happening today, do you want to come and see how the office is and all that. So yes, and after I joined, I knew that, okay, this is what it is. Whatever she told me was what is happening. So reach out to people. If you think this company is your dream company, you want to work in this company, reach out to people, ask them how it is. Trust me, it is very, very changing that how whatever reviews you read.
Thank you.
Ma'am, again, I have a question.
Yeah, Akash, tell me.
Yeah, being in a second year, what shall we prepare for the company's placements and like that? So,
Okay, so
will you give some idea?
yeah, so is it with respect to technical or non-technical?
In both.
Okay, so
Okay, technical part anyhow we will prepare.
exactly. Technical,
Non-technical.
it's up to you guys. You guys can choose what you want to do. Non-technical, first step, I would say it's volunteering, talking. I think Omna ma'am would agree. It's much, much better than our batch where we didn't even ask any questions. Uh, so you guys are asking a lot of questions. That is actually a very good thing to do. It's very good to like open up, ask out questions. No question is like a silly question. Just ask out. And the first step, being in your second year, don't stress too much about it. Try to volunteer for things. Try to do something out of your normal college life. Try to like network, try to talk to people, understand what exactly are the skills that you require. The first thing I would say is be very confident. uh, Start having group discussions, start taking up responsibilities, start volunteering. Just don't I didn't know that before, so just don't sit there and expect someone else to take care. Start volunteering. Start it very slow. Don't start everything on one single day. It's not going to happen. It's going to mess up everything. So just start very slow, start very light, and you'll get there. So to answer your question in specific, start volunteering right now, and start networking. It's not like reaching out to all the people, pinging them all at the same time. Just send them one message or two. Just understand, if you have a dream company already in mind, then you can do that. Start very slow. It'll take a lot of time, but just do one thing at one time. It'll happen. Yeah. Does it answer your question, Akash?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, sure, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Hello.
Hey, Adarsh. Yeah.
Ma'am, actually you said like when you're working in a startup, each and every day things will be changing, right?
Yes. It's
So
not
how,
mandatorily changing. There are chances to a lot of change compared to the MNCs. Yes.
yeah, but actually it's changing frequently.
Yes.
So how do you keep you updated about those things?
Good question. Thank you so much for that, Adarsh. So, it is going to so the changes, to be very honest, even the CEO will not be equipped to handle those changes. uh, you should be willing to adapt to those changes. So it's not like something that you can learn in one day and you can just adapt. It's like sometimes the product is going to expand. Let me just take a simple example. Let's say till now you are handling only one specific part of the product. The next day they decide to bring in one new product, and you it will lead to a lot of customers reaching out to you. It will lead to the inflow. Now, what exactly are you doing to learn about that particular product? You should be skeptical to learn about that new product. It's just a simple example, just at the top of my mind. If the product is expanding, what are you willing to learn? Are you willing to learn the particular new product? Are you going to just sit with the new old product and handle that forever? So you do you have good time management skills? So yes, that is what I would say. I kind of suffered when it came to changes, because obviously I came from a big company where there was no much changes all of a sudden. But in startups, all of a sudden they came and told us the product is expanding. We'll be having 100 customers from tomorrow. Every single day we'll have around 100 customers. Now it'll obviously be very scary for you, but how well are you planning to like put in your 100%? Are you willing to learn the product? Are you willing to ask questions? Are you willing to give your inputs, saying this might be better, that might be better? So that is just adapting to changes. It is nothing. So change, as in, it's not going to change in one day. It is going to take time, and you are not going to be able to change in one day. It will take a lot of time. So are you willing to adapt to those changes is the question. If you're willing to adapt, to those changes is when you will get there. So willingness to adapt to those changes is the main thing. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Guys, any other questions? Girl side, I'm not getting any interaction. Girls?
Where are all the girls?
Only in the classroom they'll talk. Srilekha, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
It's
a nice session, ma'am. I came to know many things. Actually, in second year, we would be in a confusion about what to learn. We won't have a clear-cut idea because many technical skills also will be learning in this year. Many important concepts also will be coming in this year. So we'll have a confusion between what to learn and whether they're expecting only technical skills or what to improve in non-technical skills. So with your session, I came to know what to develop, where to develop and all, and I came to know many mistakes also. Thank you, ma'am.
Perfect. It'll take time, Srilekha. It'll take a lot of time. Just make sure to concentrate. Just make sure you take one step at a time. Don't just do everything at once. You guys have like a lot of technical stuff to cover and all, right? So it'll take time. So just feel free to like spend an half an hour or so trying to like develop on these skills, and you'll get there.
Leah, please take over.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Shweta. It's a wonderful session. Actually, this is the third day for our students. You would have shared your experience, what you gained through IBM as well as through ChargeBee. Really, it was an eye-opener session for all of the students coming to know about what's really happening in MNC companies nowadays. Yesterday we had some career opportunities. Day before yesterday, Sahaya Michael Rosetta. She was giving some opportunity, giving a talk regarding the networking opportunities. These 3 days was a wonderful session for all of our students. I'm expecting the same support in the next series also, Shweta, from
Sure,
your batchmates and other colleagues also. Okay,
more than happy, ma'am. More than happy to help.
very happy for accepting our invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is my first, I would say, talk, because it's been very different from what I was in college. So it is very good to see second year students being this kind of an opportunity, because it will help them mold accordingly, because in third or fourth year you might have already decided. But second year is kind of the stage where you start to think about job and stuff like that. So it's actually a good time to have something like this. So yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Any other questions, students? So almost you would have shared all your experience. They don't have any questions to ask.
Does it mean everything was like clear, or does it mean you guys didn't understand anything?
Obviously, they can understand. Really, you would have shared your real experience, right? There is no, you would have not, you would not make anything to be. It's not a new. Sorry, it's not a older thing. Okay, well, all the things, whatever you would have shared, is the people needs to understand what they're going to be in the next 2 years. Definitely, this is a good session for them all. I think many of them were not talking today. Akash, Adarsh, and Sritek are not talking. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it was really very nice session, ma'am. Before the two sessions, it is more informative than before two sessions, ma'am. This session is. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Where are all the girls?
Your experience also very experience.
Thank you so much, Surya Prakash. Thank you.
Girls, you can speak up. Shivani, any questions? Salakshmi, Deepa. Okay, fine. Sai. Yeah. Yes,
Can I ask one more? Ma'am, actually, after joining ChargeBee, you would have started updating about yourself about the company's things, right?
Yes.
So each day when each thing is changing, you will be updating yourself according to them. So as second years, what do you think we should be updating each and every day?
Nothing as of now, to be honest. Just focus on the changes you can update. You should be willing to update to the changes. Don't think about what will happen like 2 years later. It is going to happen. It might be entirely different from what you're thinking right now. The company is going to be entirely different after 2 years. So don't think about what changes are, should I keep updating right now. Just be willing to update to changes. Just be willing to learn new stuff. That is more than enough right now. Don't stress yourself about what will the company expect out of, what will the company keep changing in 2 years. That is going to be entirely different from what you think right now. You will also stress yourself very badly. So just be honest, just be willing to change. That is more than enough.
No, ma'am, it's not about company actually. So we'll be learning some things in our second year, right?
Yes.
So after joining a company or going for a job, you would have felt like I could have done this in college during this period.
Okay.
So what did you think that you have not updated yourself in those times? So I'm not speaking about companies after 2 years. I'm saying about what should I learn and what should I keep updated about myself at this present time for my second year.
Perfect. So with respect to second year, I would say just start learning the trends that are going to come up in the industry. What is the trend right now? So right now the trend is about SaaS businesses. What are SaaS businesses? Just have a basic idea. I wish I had known what were SaaS businesses back then. I didn't know because I think SaaS businesses started like 3 years back, 3-4 years back. Like it was on the boom. I wish I had learned about SaaS businesses before, because for another 8-9 years, SaaS businesses are gonna be the top.
It's 12 o'clock.
So I wish you guys like started at the basic of SaaS, PaaS. I think ma'am will cover all the technical aspect, but what exactly happens in SaaS businesses? What are the industry changes that are gonna happen? the industry changes. I'm talking about the changes as a whole in the industry. What is going to be the trend in the next? There'll be a lot of articles online. You guys can just go through it and just know the basics of it. Just don't be unaware of anything happening or unaware of the trends that are happening. I would say that will be the things that you guys have got to do now, and the rest of the things I think you guys can start in the 4th year or something when you start having an idea about what company you would like to join. So does that answer your question, Adarsh?
Yes, ma'am. So to keep us updated, we'll be searching or gathering things from social media or internet, right?
Yes, you can. Like,
So
there are a lot of things online. You can just Google what are the trends that are coming up with respect to the industry. What are the things that you should keep updated yourself. So it kind of depends. If you're someone who's into, let's say, ethical hacking or something like that, just make sure that what are the tools that are coming up. Don't think about tools that are already present. Just think about tools that are coming up or just starting out right now, because that will be the boom in the next 3-4 years. So yeah.
So do you have any suggestions for any certain websites which will help us to browse those things and all?
I would say I don't have any specific website in mind as such. What I do, I will tell you. What I do, I just go to LinkedIn blogs. I read a lot of LinkedIn blogs. Because LinkedIn blogs have like a major section of what exactly is in trend right now. They even have things like top 10 companies to work for, which will like give you like a motivation. Okay, this company is my dream company. So I read a lot of LinkedIn blogs, and I just Google basically. I Google everything and almost everything. If I don't get the meaning of a word, I immediately Google it. I can't be without Googling. So I use LinkedIn blogs and Google. These are my go-to websites.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Shweta. It has been a wonderful session.
Thank
And
you.
we have given a lead to us, so we can expect your presence, your support to enrich our students' knowledge in SAS.
Sure.
Okay, so when
I'm
you
also
find time,
learning every day, but yeah, I'll try
yeah,
to.
when you find time, please let us know so that we can arrange for another session.
Sure, man. If
Okay, thanks a lot.
everybody is
Thanks.
happy, yeah, I'm more than willing to help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Akash, take over, ma.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You had really given us a clear-cut way towards various domains on industrial expectation. And I assure we will set our skill on management, accountability, and logical thinking, as you said. And I hope we all had a valuable interactive session with our special invitee. On behalf of our IT department, I thank Ms. Shweta ma'am, who spared her time from her busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today we had an opportunity to hear the thoughts of ma'am, and this will surely encourage us in the future events. And I also immensely thank our IT department HOD ma'am, uh, Dr. Chitra ma'am, all our department faculties, and the coordinators, sub-coordinators who worked behind all 3 days for these kind of wonderful sessions. And I finally thank all my dear classmates joining the session, making more interesting. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Shweta. Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you
students.
so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Shweta.
Thank
Right,
you. Thank you so much.
I'm really happy to see you here and to talk with your juniors actually.
Thank you
It was
so much,
very
ma'am.
wonderful after seeing you for such a long time. And you people have grown up very much, right? All the people, all your batchmates are in different places and you people have grown up like anything. I'm really happy for you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Just take your time. It'll take a lot of time actually. If you guys can like conduct sessions like kuti group discussions, it'll actually help a lot. Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you
We'll
so much.
take this forward, definitely. Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, please fill your feedback form. It is in the chat box and it will be available only for next 10 minutes. Once you filled up your feedback form, please leave the meeting. We have another meeting.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.
Bye, Shweta.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, Shweta. பமிதா மேம் வந்துட்டாங்க இல்லையா? பமிதா மேம், வினோத் சார் இருக்காரு.
எஸ் மேம்.
வினோத் சார் இருக்காரு இல்லப்பா?
எஸ் மேம்.
எஸ் மேம். பிரகதீஸ்வர் வடிவு வரல. பிரகதீஸ்வரன் சார் வந்துட்டாரு, முக்கியஜோதி வந்துட்டாங்க. Now students, those who have filled the feedback link, you can sign off.
Guys, please complete the feedback form and leave the forum. We have second year faculties meeting.
Yeah ma'am, நம்ம லிங்க் வந்து இதுல குரூப்ல போட்டுடுங்க, அவங்க ஃபில் பண்ணட்டும், எல்லாத்தையும் டிசேபிள் பண்ணி விட்டுடுங்க.
Okay ma'am.
ஓம்னா பெக் ஐடில லாகின் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? ஓம்னால பண்ணிருக்கீங்களாப்பா? ஓம்னா இஸ் லெஃப்ட். Is she there?
She left ma'am.
ஹலோ, எங்க பமிதா கூட போயிட்டாங்க? சரி, ஓகே, வருவாங்க. இப்ப லியா, நீங்க இந்த ப்ராசஸ் அவங்களுக்கு சொல்லுங்க. ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இப்போ நம்பர் போட்டு எப்படி உள்ள வந்தாங்க? தாயலட்சுமி எதுக்கு திரும்பி வரா?
நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
சரண் ஆர், ஓகே. ஆக்சுவலா பிரகதீஸ்வரன் சார் இருந்தாரு, வர காணலையே. நித்யஜோதி மேம், வினோத் சார் சார் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. இப்ப நம்ம 4 பேர் தான் இருக்கோம்.
எஸ் மேம், சொல்லுங்க மேம்.
அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்கப்பா. இப்போ வந்து கூகுள் குரோம்ல, ஆமா, கூகுள் குரோம் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க. இந்த பொண்ணு எதுக்கு திருப்பி வருது? சாயலட்சுமி, பனிதா வந்துட்டாங்க. பனிதா அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்கம்மா, நம்ம 5 பேர் தான் இருக்கோம். சரி, இப்போ கூகுள் குரோம்ல வந்து கூகுள் மீட் போட்டுக்கோங்க. ஒரு ஐடி இப்ப கிரியேட் பண்ணிட்டோம், ஒரு வாரத்துக்குள்ளது.
ஓகே மேம்.
சரிங்க மேம். அந்த ஐடி அப்படியே நம்ம கண்டினியூஸா நெக்ஸ்ட் வீக் அந்த 4 ஹவர்ஸ்க்குமே அதே